even when we're fifth, Gonzo, even when we're fifth and we're winning, there's still controversy with West Ham, isn't there? It's never straightforward. Do we ever go a week of just normality?
No, but that's okay. I mean, I feel untainted by this particular episode. Let's say I feel we can separate it from our current good Premier League form and lay it at the feet of somebody else.
Anyway, how you doing? Anyway,
Yeah,
you good?
Yeah, not bad, mate. Yourself?
I'm all right. It's a bit weird with a week between games now. I'm not used to it. I'm expecting the next West Ham game to be like tomorrow night.
That unfortunately that cup game tomorrow night isn't happening, my friends. As much as you might get excited, sit in front of your TV with your Bovril, waiting for us to play. Who would we have been drawn against? Leicester, is that right?
Yeah, wait till Leicester.
Yeah, well, we're not happening. It's not happening, unfortunately.
But tomorrow night's Europa League football, so I'll be watching it to start getting used to watching.
You need to scout some teams ahead of next season.
Yeah. So we're starting to get ready to watch Thursday night football. Essentially, you know, I want to get into the.
That's why I almost couldn't make tonight. I'm getting ready to watch Wednesday night football next week. Hence, I was nearly busy. Yeah.
Brilliant. Anyway, where do you want to start with tonight? We've got a couple of topics. Anywhere you want to start with?
No, you lead the dance, my friend. You tell me.
Ravel Morrison. Let's discuss him.
Lovely player.
Anyway, for those that don't know, for the context, Rio Ferdinand does a podcast with Stephen Howson and Joel, and this week's guest was Ravel Morrison. And obviously they speak about West Ham United. Fascinating interview to some extent, not just the West Ham bit, or all of it. I've caught out about 3/4 of it. I haven't watched it all yet, but I watched about 3/4 of it. But the bit about West Ham was a bit juicy, wasn't it? It was nothing new, but it was confirmation.
Yeah, well, listen, I've not heard. Obviously, I know what was said. What did they? Obviously, we're not saying this, but what did they say? What did Rio and Ravel say, basically?
He basically said that he was happy at West Ham. That West Ham was the place he's been happiest playing football. West Ham and playing for High End up at QPR. That's when he's been happiest. He wanted to stay at West Ham. He would have stayed at West Ham for a long time, but there was a contract thing with Sam Allardyce, and he was sort of asked to join Mark Curtis. He didn't want to do that. The contract in January come around, the contract got taken away. He got told he was going to QPR. Went to QPR, got them promoted, had a really good season with them. Come back in, said 5 or 6 days into pre-season, Sam told him, Cardiff, you're off to Cardiff. And he says, I want to stay at West Ham. He said, nah, no, don't have space for you. We don't need you here. So he Ravel phoned up High End up and said, here, can I come back to QPR? I'll help you get into the Premier League. Can I come to QPR and stay in the Premier League with you guys? And Harley basically said, we've tried, but West Ham will not give you.
I didn't know that.
Yeah, Ravel said that Harley tried to get him back at QPR, but West Ham wouldn't allow the transfer. So he was basically forced to go.
So I was almost, mate. So Ravel felt it was a punishment. It basically, no, you are going to. No, I've been to Cardiff. Cardiff's very nice, by the way. Really lovely night out in Cardiff. I'm not suggesting a trip to Wales is a punishment, but Sam, mate, I love Wales. Snowdonia is lovely.
Trouble from you over there.
Yeah, absolutely. He was punished by sending him to Wales. Yeah. That is something I didn't know. Yeah, and I mean that's quite an accusation, really, isn't it? Let's be fair. I understand. There's two separate things. There's the accusation of Allardyce trying to force his agent on Ravel Morrison. That's the first thing. Let's deal with that in a second. But actually, I'd just like to say that I really enjoyed watching that lad play. I've got to say, and I was so desperate for a bit of flair at that time under Allardyce, particularly that team that he had at that point, that I was almost gravitating to anybody. Zarate, do you remember when Zarate was like, oh God, a bit of flair. This is good. I know he was a bit greedy and all the rest of it, but actually it's something above the norm. Even though he played Joe Cole on the left, which I thought, particularly at the end of his career, stick him in the middle. Stick him behind the striker. That's what you do with Joe Cole. But I was just desperate for a bit of flair. And we had this guy, and I understand he was flawed. And I've said my theory about West Ham having to have flawed players so many times. People don't need to hear it another time. But that was the sort of player we were going to get, was Morrison. And I do feel, and I understand that people say Morrison had enough chances and so on and so forth, and he probably did. I wouldn't argue with that, but that's not to say that we couldn't have made it work. I think we could, and I bet if he's looking back on it with regret, I'm pretty sure all throughout Ravel Morrison's career he would have felt he could have done more, and when he looks back on it when he's retired and whatnot. However, I think that was his time, and I think had we have got that right, we would have had a hell of a player on our hands. Would he at some point have gone off the rails? Quite possibly. I don't know, but I found it really, really disappointing, and to hear those, I didn't know the Cardiff one. Obviously, what we probably should say is the Mark Curtis ones. Those rumours have been doing the rounds for years and years. So when he said it, I was only surprised that he'd said it publicly. Let's be fair, we'd all heard it whispered, right?
Yeah, I completely agree with you. I mean, I remember I read Kevin Coban's autobiography, and he alludes to it as well about how he was sort of told to sign with Mark Curtis, and he didn't want to do it. He turned up, and there was a nice contract on the table for him. But then he's seen how much percentage of his wages we can get removed. And he thought, no, I'm not signing this. I'll go get another agent kind of thing. It's disappointing. I mean, when I watched the Ravel interview, at times I thought he was ready to break down. I thought he was ready to cry a couple of times speaking to Rio. Some of his answers were quite short. He doesn't seem like a very chatty person in the podcast at times. But I thought some of them were good. I thought Joe, Stephen and Rio at times sat there, and it was almost like they weren't satisfied with his answers. So they just sat quiet, and then he would give a second answer sometimes. And I felt a bit sorry watching him because he knows he's the first person to put his hands up and say, I've messed up here. I've had troubles going on and stuff. But I thought it was interesting when they basically said, when did it click? When did you grow up? And he basically said, when I was in Mexico, because there's no politics over there. You play football. If you're good enough, you play football. It's as simple as that. He said, but in England, there's a lot of politics and stuff. And I think he was, again, alluding back to sort of what forced him to go to Cardiff, essentially. His transfer was dictated. He's alluding to that his transfer is very much dictated to who his football agent is or isn't in this case. And it's not nice. Listen, I've never been one of Ravel's biggest fans on here because of the off the pitch stuff. I was like, hang on a minute, this is a guy that's had trouble and he's got in trouble with the police and stuff. And fantastic player, fantastic ability, wonderful goal. But would I have ever had him back at West Ham? No, I wouldn't have. But you do wonder if he had somewhere that someone put their arm around with him, because he was young at West Ham. He was still really young. And they just coached him, not just for football, but off the pitch as well. Like, coached him, changed his mentality, changed his characteristics. When he said it clicked in Mexico, it's just okay, we couldn't let him click at West Ham United. And when he was speaking about it, he was clearly happy at West Ham. He says, the fans are crazy, and he loved the people, he loved the staff, he loved the club, and you can tell he has affection for West Ham, and he's still always had that. Even now and again, he puts up a post on social media. He's not the most social media going footballer. Now and again, you put up a little post about "Come on, you Irons" or something. When he's been playing in Mexico and stuff, he's always had that sort of affection for West Ham.
I'd love. I mean, what you said there is so true. I don't know if Chris Akabusi is in the chat at all. I don't know if he watches. I know obviously he likes a cup of tea, not just drinking one. But Chris would be a good advocate of this, by the way. Before we do, let's just talk about Mike Tyson. Would be a good one as well. Mike Tyson was well off the rails, and he got a father figure in a guy called Custamato, who channeled this aggressive young oik, this street urchin basically, and channeled him and gave him discipline and gave him all this. And I wish I could remember, but Chris had a mentor. I wish I could remember his. I seem to remember it being a Scottish name, actually. Geo, it's probably it would be, but yeah, Chris Akabusi very much had a mentor who he looked up to, and who sort of was able to be a life coach for him, not just a fitness coach or a sports coach, but so when you say that about Morrison, yes, because if you hear about Sir Alex Ferguson talking about him, or Rio Ferdinand or Paul Scholes or any of these people, and they all saw a lot of players during their time, but them all to say he was the most talented youngster. Even hear Pogba talk when Pogba was in the academy at Man United, and Pogba would always say, it wasn't me that was a talent, it was Ravel Morrison. So clearly he had a lot of it, but I think you're absolutely right, that sort of life coaching is so vitally important for him, and I do feel for him, and I have, because he did have a horror, as I think Mitchell said it earlier, as he did have a terrible childhood, and they just some of these kids need a chance. Granted, he has had probably more than his fair share of chances. Just on the other bigger issue, if you want to discuss it, Geo, about the
crack on. The allegations. The
allegations, which was you've got to remember at the time, I might have these slightly wrong, but Sam Allardyce, when he was manager of West Ham, had I think it was possibly James Tompkins, certainly Kevin Nolan. There were others, Andy Carroll, Guy Demel. There were 4 or 5 players who actually...
He was heavily involved in Andy Carroll and Matt Jarvis.
And Matt Jarvis as well. There were a lot of players who Sam Allardyce Sam Allardyce's agent had involved in deals. And you had to feel at the very least that was a conflict of interest. So when you hear that the accusation that Ravel Morrison was trying to be brought under that umbrella... listen, you have to make up your own minds. And I would also say that I also remembered the 2006 Panorama investigation where Allardyce was accused of taking bungs. So it was actually the BBC investigated him and he was accused of taking bungs. And also his son was implicated as well. I mean, of course, Allardyce was himself. He refuted all suggestions. He said they were scurrilous rumours and he said he would take legal action. I don't think he did ever take legal action, actually. But... I think certainly at that point, regardless of what anyone else thinks, the BBC were confident enough to make a documentary about him, basically, that featured him. I think Harry was maybe Harry was a different one, but yeah, I mean, look, make of it what you will. It's not great. Don't make great reading, put it that way.
It does make you a bit more glad as to how West Ham and I suppose David Moyes now does things at the club. He's the complete polar opposite. He's not like, oh, let's deal with one particular agent. He's more, let's deal with football agents, please. We'll move on to, if you're not happy with what we've discussed and you're watching this live, you can pop questions in towards the end and we'll discuss it a bit further. But Moose has been at you on TalkSport. Did you hear that on there?
No.
He basically said that one of the biggest contributing factors to West Ham this season is the fact that the fans aren't there. And that is one of the biggest reasons that West Ham are playing really well because, I guess, the negative fan base are not in the ground.
Well, I think he might have a point, but he's not the person to be making it. I think he's got no credit in. He's got no credit. He's no credit in the bank with West Ham fans after his abomination of an interview with David Gold, I have to say. I think he should probably keep his opinion to himself on that. Really, I would agree with him. I just don't think he has any credit. I don't think he has any credit with him. I think there's possibly something in it. But I also like to think that, and I certainly feel this way. I've said a number of times on interview, on videos that I feel that this season has been an education for me, and I've had to learn to appreciate sitting back and defending, and lots of those things. If you'd have told me a little while ago I'd be appreciating the nuances or the lack of nuances of a Craig Dawson, I'd have called you mad. That I would be able to appreciate a 1-0 scrappy win where we've had 3 shots on target, I would have said, no, come on, swashbuckle and lots of it. But I feel myself I'm being educated. So I like to feel, actually, if I do go back to that stadium, that I won't be like that. I'll understand. I think, okay, I understand what Moyes is doing. Look, do I think he's got a point? I think so. But I think you could say the same for quite a few teams, possibly Tottenham, as we've discussed in the past. It's taken away a bit of the awkwardness of the stadium, which let's be fair, in many respects, what it's done is it's nullified home and away games. There is no longer a home and away advantage. So I'm sure that has impacted quite a few. But come on, Moose, leave it out. Make time to sort of build some bridges, not burn them down.
I think short term, I think it's made a big difference. I think post lockdown, it made a big difference not having the fans there and stuff. But at the same time, the last home game, literally the last home game before all this happened, was we smashed Southampton. The place was as good as it's ever been, possibly. So it's like, football's form. You have to look at the latest results to get your opinion. Well, surely for the fans, you have to look at the recent games that fans have attended to get your opinion on them. The last game at the London Stadium, fans, the place was noisy. We won 3-1. There was a protest before the game as well with West Ham fans, yet we still turned up and made a load of noise and won 3-1. So the whole correlation that he's trying to spin about the protests and stuff, there is no correlation. We've proven factually that is incorrect. And I actually do think he's got a small point. I do think he's got a small point, and I've said this in a couple of videos. I know not everybody agrees. Some comments I say I don't know what you're talking about, but I do believe that, particularly the West Brom game at home. I remember we were winning 2-1. Oh, it was 1-0 we were winning, and they were on top for 5-10 minutes. I felt like we were just booting the ball away, and it was coming at us. And I just thought, if the fans were there, they would be like, oh, but sometimes that's not a bad thing. It wakes your team up a bit. It says to your team, oh, you switch on, this isn't good enough kind of thing. Get up the pitch a bit. But also, the fan atmosphere is often driven by results. If we were to go back tomorrow, the place would be rocking. Well, A, because we're back, but also B, because we're 5th in the league. We can sit there and accept a 1-0 scrappy thing. It's when you're down the bottom, when you're 16th in the league, trying to cling on to a 1-0 win against the team that's bottom. That's when the fans get a bit grumpy because they're emotionally invested. They're not happy with what they are seeing. Now, where we are in the league, the fans will have a completely different attitude going back, if we go back now, because of the where we are in the league and how we play. We've now got evidence to be enthusiastic, to be happy, and I think that would be portrayed when the fans do return. But the thing that annoyed me about Moose isn't so much that. It's the timing of it. I just think, why are you bringing this up now? When everything's rosy, it's almost everything's too good. Oh, let's rattle the West Ham fan base a little bit. And also B, it's trying to take away the good work that the manager and the players are doing and stuff. It's like, oh, let's just blame the fans, almost like the fans not being there is part of the reason we're doing. Well, it's not. It's down to do with the players, the manager, and the coaching team. That's what's down to. It's got nothing to do with the fans. It's got nothing to do with the board. It's down to that lot that influence the match day at the minute. And I just think, yes, some teams have benefited. We've benefited. Aston Villa's benefited. I think Spurs benefited. I think, on the other hand, I think some teams have struggled a little bit. Liverpool, Sheffield United. But unfortunately, part of football, you have to adapt to your environment and stuff. And the teams that have adapted to no fans, actually, well, that's a credit. Well done to the manager. Well done to the players for adapting to not having fans in there. And those that sit there and use it as an excuse, well, it's been this way for nearly a year now. Why have you not done something about it? Why have you not changed something so that you're used to playing with no fans? Don't just sit there with your arms folded for the best part of a year and complain about it. Get on with it. It's the same for everything. It's not just football. It's every other sport in the world at the minute as well. So
I've got to say, I find this interesting, actually, because I don't think Moose is a fool. I really don't. But I know where that press entrance is at that London Stadium. And by and large, if you're getting the train, and I say this as somebody, I have bumped into Moose when he has been walking from the station. Very, very drunk. Didn't want to do an interview, funny enough. But I bumped into Moose walking from the station to the ground. Now, clearly, he's going into the press office. He's not stupid. He knows what he's doing. He knows it's going to rile up the West Ham fans. Why? He clearly must think, he must know that fans are going to go back at some point. Why would he want to sort of run that gauntlet of the walk through Westfield all the way down to the press in the marquee, which is where the press entrance is? It's a bizarre thing. You see, to play the game, mate, by all means, do your silly posts about the grub that you're eating and this, that, and the other. But your own fans, where you're going to have to walk through, particularly when you are very noticeable. He's not hard to identify, is he? Let's be honest. Be nice. I wouldn't want to be doing that walk next time he goes there anyway.
Yeah. My last words on him before I move on is, I wouldn't mind it if it was an isolated incident, but it's not. He pops up time and time again, frequently enough, swiping at West Ham fans. He don't like West Ham fans. He doesn't like us. I don't know if he thinks he's better than us or if he thinks that, well, to be fair, I think there is an element of that about it, to be honest with you, because I know you're not going to say this. You're too polite. You asked him to do a little video with you, and he basically told you to F off. He pretended he didn't see you. You were doing your video with Jazz. Then you basically said, oh, can we get a quick word about the West Ham game? And you just...
Well, I think Pellegrini had just been sacked at that point.
Yes, that's it. Yeah,
right then. And he didn't know. He said, surely not. He said, let me check my phone. Sorry, mate. Anyway, yeah.
He liked it.
Hmm? He was rude. He was rude. So maybe, that's fine. I don't know. Everyone has to be polite.
Yeah. Anyway, other news that we're being linked to that severe strike again, and Esri, 40 million is supposed to be what we're going after him in the summer for. Have you watched any more YouTube of him? He's playing tonight in the Champions League. Oh, you haven't, have you? I was joking about that.
Well, What, you were joking? Have I've seen more YouTube of him? Oh, I have. Yeah, no, yeah. Yeah, I like him. I think he's good.
He's on TV at the moment, not on my TV. I've got the City game on, but he's playing Dortmund at the minute in the Champions League. So
I know he's a good player, mate. The Moroccan Andy Carroll.
Do you think Mark Curtis will be signing him up?
Definitely, mate. Definitely. He's by the way, if you haven't seen him play, he's nothing like Andy Carroll. Very mobile, very, very quick. Good player, good all-round player. As I say, the first time I ever saw him, sometimes I looked at players and think, Moyes would be interested in this guy. The first time I saw him play after we'd been linked, I went and checked him out on YouTube. Okay, yeah, I can imagine that. Yeah, Moyes would definitely be interested in this guy. And I guarantee anybody who watches never seen him play, if you watch a YouTube video of him, but you look at him and think, yeah, that's a Moyes type player. It's like when we first saw Soucek. We said, oh yeah, actually, yeah, Moyes will like this guy.
I'm ignoring I've managed to resist looking him up on YouTube. I've still yet to see a play. I might try and catch a couple of his Sevilla games before the end of the season, because I do believe he's our number one target. It's a rumour that's not going away. Moyes just confirmed the bid for him and stuff. So for us to keep the money, I do believe Moyes knows something, which is come get me in the I'll move in the summer, but I've got unfinished business for Sevilla at the minute.
Which is nice. Which is good, Gio. That's actually what you want to see.
Yeah, I think if anything, that would impress David Moyes, because then in future, if he comes over here and he works out in Liverpool come knocking or whatever, you'd like to think you'll turn around to Liverpool and say, come get me in the summer. I've got unfinished business for West Ham. I'll sort that out. And then I'll go. Did you see how we signed Thomas Soucek? Do you know how we've always wondered how we got him? Did you see the story, how we got him?
It's actually tomorrow's video, funny enough. Not I don't mind talking about it. Yeah, I did. I was really pleased.
Well, would you like to tell the story and I'll give my opinion so you can keep your opinion for tomorrow's video?
Okay. The chap's name was Jordan Miles. Okay, and I made a joke. I don't want to spoil my joke, basically, for tomorrow.
I just want the story, not the joke.
No, we're not anyone to laugh anyway. But that's the beauty of an uploaded video. You see, when it's not live, you can just imagine that people do laugh, but really they're yawning or they've fallen asleep. Jordan Miles is head of player analytics or something like that. I've got that right. So first of all, I saw it. I thought, oh, that's good. We've got a head of player analytics. That's something. We've got half a scout. Now we've got someone else. This is so I started looking into it. Thought, oh, this is really, really good. So David Moyes had said to him, find me a player, find me a midfield player. I can't spoil my joke, Gio, obviously. Find me a midfield player. And Jordan Miles went and found him Thomas Soucek, which I think is absolutely marvellous.
Signed with stats. Who would have thought it? Oh, I was delighted. I'm not going to lie. As someone who likes these stats, I almost justified my being my sort of thumbs up over stats and numbers to discover that we signed Thomas Soucek using numbers. I thought, come on, justified. But nah, seriously, it was good actually. It's reassuring that is what we're doing. You know, we've been sitting here we need to use stuff like this in the future. Well, actually, we've been using it a year ago. So this is where it gets a little bit interesting. And I think it's only fair to assume that the other players that we've got on our shortlist or we've been scouting all season have been identified using numbers, essentially, because in the last year, you've not been able to attend any football. So it's not like we've sent scouts to go watch all these games left, right, and centre in that. But they would have had to be identifying them through using numbers, essentially, and saying, right now, we get the video footage and start watching the games on our computer screen and doing all the grading or whatever that Jed was talking about and stuff. So I don't know. I've just found it interesting.
Absolutely. And you know what? I mean, I don't know where this kid came from. He looks about 5 as well, Jordan Miles. Clearly a talented young boy.
But that's what you want, though. His job is numbers. You don't want someone that he almost doesn't need to know football. He just needs to be able to do algorithms and look at numbers and stuff like that. It's like a maths equation he's doing.
Yeah, no, he's very, 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 very good. I'm very impressed with that. And let's see what he can come up with next. I like to hear this. I don't mind. I don't want to hear that it's David Sullivan or David Moyes or anything. Tell me that story about a scout you've never heard of before, how he's unearthed this player. Brilliant. I'll have some more of that. Thank you.
Do you think when he goes on his spreadsheet, he's like, must cover this much ground, pass this much goals, agent, not Mark Curtis, enter.
There'll be a few agents, not. Actually, there might be an agent, must be this agent. I don't care. Look, Jordan, I'm going to get a tattoo of him on my arm, on my bum or something. Yeah, I like it.
So if we qualify for European football, you're going to get a tattoo of Jordan Miles on your arm.
Oh, maybe. I know he's dead. Yeah.
I'll let you get a tattoo of Thomas Soucek if you want, because it's probably a bit better. If someone says, "What's that?" and you say Jordan Miles, people are probably going to say who.
Let them say who. I would wear it, display it proudly,
holding you to this
upon my breast.
Holding you to this. Apparently, we've got a £60 million transfer kitted. Did you see that random rumor?
I saw you mocking it. I didn't see the rumor before you mentioned it. No, to be fair.
Yeah, 60 million enough for you?
No. Yeah. Look, here's the thing with it. Here's the thing. It's what's his name? 40 million. That leaves us 20 million. What are we going to do at 20 million? Well, I'll tell you what. People better be saying we ought to sign Jesse Lingard. So would 60 million cure all our ills? No. But let's be fair. Do we have any ills? Is there anything wrong with West Ham? No. Right. So does 60 million improve us? I think it'll improve us a bit. Does it get us to? The thing is, we've had a taste. We've snuck by the buffet cart and had a couple of sneaky chicken wings, and we'll be wanting something more substantial to eat next season. Put it that way. So, will 60 million take us to the promised land? No, but I think you may well find that 60 million keeps us exactly where we are, which is still pretty damn good, isn't it? But no, we'll get for 60 million. I imagine we get the striker and we get Lingard.
Yeah, I think that's it. And Dawson, I think we basically keep the squad the same, plus add a striker to it, which doesn't sound much, though, does it? It doesn't, because automatically you're thinking, well, what about the other centre midfielder? We need another centre midfielder, and if Balbuena or Fabianski leave, we've got to replace them as well. So where's this money coming from? 60 million sounds a lot of money until you start to think about it, and you just suddenly it's not that much. Just a massive thank you to Doug Chuck to find full-time fan. So you've been watching from the start. Hope you're both well, lads. I assume it means the start of Hammer's chat, not the start of this video, because I think the start.
I thought he meant this video.
No, I think he means the channel. I don't think it's very. I don't think it's something to boast about. I've been watching this video for 27 minutes.
It is very impressive. Look,
it is.
I can see people putting scores up at the moment. Clearly, there's some football. There's a match going on of some. You said it was Europa League or something, did you?
I've got it on. It's Everton City.
In the Europa League?
It's the Premier League.
Oh, right, I was going to say.
It's their game in hand. Everton's game in hand.
And it's 1-1, I believe. People keep on posting 1-1. Yeah, well, there you go. It is impressive. 27 minutes. People are still with us, and they're not watching a couple of dodgy teams who play in blue.
Anyway, do you want some questions from Twitter? I didn't do it on YouTube because earlier, I know I put them on YouTube, but we always run out of time. So in the live chat, if you're watching live, you've got any questions, pop them in.
Hello, Doug. Hello, Doug, from 27 minutes ago. I know what he means. He's right.
Well, he didn't go back to the start, did he? Because he's still watching this bit.
No.
Anyway.
What's happened is he's popped in to say hello. Hello, fellas. How you doing? Here's a £5. I'm buggering off. I'm going to watch this from the start now. That's what's happened.
Good man. Anyway, right. Question time. Mikey John. He's got the world's longest Twitter @ Do you want me to read out his Twitter @
It's not longer than Woody's.
And Mikey always asks a question. Every week, Mikey puts a question in for us. It is at Mike STR 955-86352.
Let me give him a call.
Brilliant. But anyway, is a new striker our first buy? What position? If a new strikers are our first buy, what position is second and why?
I'm so sorry. You've taken all the time to write out that long Twitter handle. I'm going to say exactly the same thing that I said 5 minutes ago or whatever, which was Yosef En-Nesyri and Jesse Lingard. Sorry, mate. I think that's
cheating. Not Jesse Lingard. Another one. Another position. Jesse Lingard's cheating.
Is it?
It's a cop out. We've already got him.
Wow, that's debatable.
It's got to be a centre mid, hasn't it? After the striker, it has to.
Yeah. No, you're absolutely right. Yes, that would be our priority to then go and sign a central midfield player. Certainly.
Steph says, "Are you confident Rice will stay now that Chelsea aren't interested?" That was a story today, by the way, that Chelsea have now sort of taken him off the wanted list.
Oh, I'm out of the news. I don't know about the news, Steph. To be fair, no, I'm not confident because I haven't even read that story.
I'm quite confident. I do think Frank Lampard was behind the pursuit of it, and I believe the story that one of the reasons, not necessarily they got sacked, but the reason Chelsea didn't want him is because they find it embarrassing paying 70-80 million for a player that they let go for free, and it is embarrassing. So I think that's going to stop them coming in, not just Lampard. I think that is itself. Mitchell says, where do you rate Amazon coverage compared to BT or Sky? He loves it. Alan McCoy takes him back.
I totally agree. I totally agree. Actually, I've noticed a couple of times recently with Sky that actually they go to a replay when the action started quite a lot. And you think, well, hold on a second, particularly when it's a goal kick. Well, hold on a second, I've just missed. Now we're in central midfield. How do we get there? So, yeah, I agree, mate. I agree.
Philip Yannick says, are you going to do a live watch along of Slavia against Leicester? No.
We haven't discussed it. In all honesty, we hadn't discussed it. Look, let's be fair. We hardly know our Slavias from our Spartas, so it would be an abomination of what's the other team?
Slavia against Leicester.
Yeah, I only know that they play in blue. I know they've got old Steptoe up front. It would be an abomination, and we wouldn't know anything.
West Ham for Life says, what's your favourite goal that you've seen in an away game?
Oh, crikey. I don't know. Crikey, Dixie, years ago. Was it at Derby? He might have been at Derby. Was it Sheffield Wednesday? I'm not sure. It was a Dixie one. Years ago. Years and years ago.
Mine would be Tevez at Old Trafford in that season that we stayed up. I was in the home end, though. I have a few friends that were... Some are fake Man United fans. They don't actually go to a game. They just wore the kit every year and said they supported Man United. Yeah. But there was actually some of my friends that did support Man United for the same reasons, but they actually went to the games now and again. So I went with I was a teenager then. I went with some of my friends on to sit in the home end, and I wasn't the only one trying up to celebrate. There was quite a lot of West Ham fans in the home end that day. Some of them were a bit more get in than others. I was just sit there kind of, come on, my friends sitting there saying don't do anything. But yeah, that one would have been my favourite one because it was just probably because of stress, to be honest with you. I quite enjoy when football brings emotion out of you. That's what I want in return.
Yeah. I do like the story of you trying to hold it together. Oh, by the way, David James, it wasn't Forest free kick, mate. I'm pretty sure it was Derby. Just on that, separate. I remember being at Southampton in the away end, and I thought I'd done a sterling job. I thought a brilliant job. And Freddie Canute did just a bit of miscontrol. And I don't know whether I did that or grimaced or snorted or something. I did something. And the guy next to me turned around and said, you're a West Ham fan. And I thought I'd done a wonderful job. He was very nice, very polite. But I got rumbled.
Dan says, after doing this for so long, do you guys ever get sick of each other?
Yeah, definitely can't. Yeah, can't. So I have dreams. This Scottish voice, reading out questions. Yeah, it's terrible.
All right, leave it out. Bloody hell. You could have just stopped there. You could have just stopped at the end. Yeah, that's why we miss cup of tea some weeks, because we're like, nah, I can't be arse speaking to you.
I know what you're going to say anyway.
Yeah, I need a night off. I mean, Scout Soucek says, are you going to watch our future striker Al Nesri play against Dortmund tonight? No, we're doing a video, mate. We've got a video to do. You replied to a tweet about a video tonight asking us
what we're doing tonight. Yeah, we've discussed it. I've already watched him on YouTube.
Jazza said, should we continue with the false 9 interchange information? Do you think Antonio's impact off the bench could win games on its own?
Well, yeah, but I think I said I would like to implement a floating number 2. I think there's a lack of that in football, certainly. But a false 9, yeah, lovely. Look, it would make absolute sense, by the way, even if your preference was something completely different. For if Antonio is fit, it makes absolute sense for him to start off the bench in the next game anyway. We have something that appears to have worked pretty well. So let's give ourselves a plan B off the bench and not risk somebody that we know is a little bit fragile anyway.
Jordan says, who would you like to sign next season?
Jesse Lingard.
Give me another player. Be a bit more creative with this one. Realistic. They'll keep it realistic. I've still got 2. Sam Johnson from West Brom, the keeper. I still want him. Yeah. The problem is you've got an issue with Fabianski and what to do there, but I would just put Fabianski on the bench and try and sell Randolph. And then second is Conor Gallagher, currently at West Brom on loan from Chelsea. I'd get him in. I think he's ideal replacement. providing Rice and Soucek stay, he would be ideal to sort of be a centre midfield option. Those two would be my top two signings.
I think I'll tell you I'd quite like to sign Ross Barkley. I'd quite like to sign Ross Barkley, actually. Yeah, I don't think we need a winger, do we? I've got a little.
I don't think we need a Ross Barkley either.
Well, I think. See, this is the thing. You don't judge Ross Barkley on what you've. Sorry, I'm actually just looking down the Premier League table to try and give myself a little head. No, oh no, I can't sign him because I'll get hate.
Who? That's it now.
Laperty. Laperty, is that his name? Right back for Brighton.
Yeah, right wing back. Yeah,
he's really good, isn't he?
Yeah. Because we need a right wing back right now. Sifal's just not quite cutting it out there.
I'm just saying, I don't want to get the hate, but I would probably sign him, and I wouldn't like him because, as everybody knows, I don't like right backs. But yeah. Look, Ross Barkley. Some of the best form I've seen for Ross Barkley was actually under Martinez when he played central midfield rather than number 10. And Martinez used to compare him to Michael Ballack. I mean, I'm not saying he walks into our team, but I do think we do lack a central midfielder, and I do see him as that more than a number 10.
West Ham Online, would you give Anderson another chance if we get European football?
No, I wouldn't. I think Moyes was keen to get him out for the reasons that we've said, that everybody can't be wrong. And the fact that Porto have found problems with him, I think David Moyes, as much as he's scouting for, or as much as Jordan Miles is scouting for how well someone can kick a ball, I think the team ethic and the team unit, and you hear the players talk about it, and I think maybe his character just doesn't fit in that, and it doesn't sort of tie in. I mean, he doesn't really. You understand he doesn't learn the language, and just put that next to the story about Mikel Antonio, and I don't know if you know it, but Mikel Antonio got on with Pablo Fornal so well that he wanted to settle him, that Mikel Antonio started learning Spanish. I thought that was outstanding, by the way, and if that really highlights, I think, the team ethic and that's just the right thing.
Does that mean Antonio did it like Adrian or Pedro Obiang?
I like it. Look, I'm starting to learn Scottish, put it that way.
But you get sick of me now and again. Anyway, Leo says, my question is, if we have an injury scare with Dawson or another centre-back, would you like to see Balbuena or would you like to see Alves? Balbuena looks like he's now behind Diop in the pecking order.
Oh, Balbuena's done nothing wrong this season. I think Balbuena's played really, really well. I've no problem at all with Balbuena getting back into the team. Balbuena's only not in the team because of Dawson's excellence. Actually, he was really, arguably, Dawson might not have got in the team if it hadn't been for a little. Why did Balbuena? He got an injury, didn't he? Was it in the warm up or something? He came in very, very late, as I remember. Dawson. Balbuena was set for the team. I think Balbuena was playing so well, he might even still be in the team. Got no problem with Balbuena playing centre half for West Ham, none at all. I think I want him back to get a new contract, actually.
Yeah, anyway, live chat now. We're going to turn to live chat for a bit, so get your questions in, and we will get them answered. Brian says, if we can't get Jesse Lingard, would you try to get Dele Alli?
You wouldn't get Dele Alli. I think Dele Alli is a quality player, and I don't. You can't put too much stock by what's going on under Mourinho. It's a bit of a weird one. I started watching that program, Geo. I didn't finish watching that program, but I started watching the Tottenham thing on Amazon. I thought it was quite an impressive program, actually, but he might be a little bit of trouble, Dele Alli, but I do think he's a really, really good footballer. And I think Moyes, I don't know what his character's like. He gets in trouble a little bit, doesn't he? He does silly things. If he came to West Ham, he'd have to cut that handshake out and that wave thing. No, I can't have that, to be fair.
Yeah, I agree. I mean, to go back to that Anderson one, I sort of missed it there, but I don't think he's got a future under West Ham. The current team we've got, all graft. They all work 100%, work hard. While Anderson works hard, I don't think he's a proper sort of grafter like David Moyes likes, and I think that's part of the reason he's probably been hooked out the door, if you want. And so I don't see a future of him under West Ham, which sort of leads on to this from Robert. Robert says, what skunk do you think Sullivan has been on? And they honestly think they'll get their asking price for Lanzini, Yarmolenko and Anderson. Now, this ties in with the report £60 million budget. So it was 15 million, 10 million and 15 million or something like that.
What's skunk, Gatesy?
I don't know. Maybe it's learning Spanish or something. I don't know.
I don't know.
Anyway, what do you think of the valuations?
Wait, look, Lanzini, who knows? Who knows? If he plays for now until the rest of the season, plays a lot, his value will go up. I think we're lucky to get anything for what was the value for Anderson?
15 again.
I mean, it's such a massive drop. We're lucky to get 10. If we're lucky, I think we might be witnessing the end of Felipe Anderson's career. Actually, I do. I don't mean he will never play football again, but I think you may well be witnessing one of these players who sees out his contract, doesn't play at West Ham, goes and signs for somebody else, doesn't play very much. I don't think I'm not sure you'll ever see a sizzling Felipe Anderson ever again. There's clearly something very, very wrong with him.
That's a bit harsh.
Well, it's not. Look what's happened. The Porto owner has said it. Look what's happened with his sister and everything like that. Maybe he's just got so much money that he can't be asked anymore. I don't know. What? What?
You've got your shovel bag. You must have nicked it from me. I took it off you at the start, then you've got it back again.
No, I don't. I don't retract that. I regret what I regret for implying that Wales might be seen as a place to punish people. All right. I regret that, and I didn't mean it. And I love Wales. All right. I have spent many a happy night in Abergavenny, put it that way, right? All I'm saying, right? But I don't regret what I just said about Felipe Anderson. He don't look like he can be asked. He really doesn't. And clearly he's got a motivational problem. He must do. I think his career is going to fizzle out. If someone thinks he's going to see out his contract at West Ham, rock up at Napoli or Lazio or Sampdoria and start tearing it out and be one of the best players in Serie A, no, it ain't going to happen. I'm telling you, his career is going to fizzle out.
He was good here for a year, though. The first season he was here was good.
There you go. That's it.
It's just the transfer in the summer was the wrong move. He had done his research. Porto hadn't done their research. It was just a bad move all round. I think he'll go somewhere for, 10 million in summer, probably back to Italy, and I think he'll do it right again. You're going to have to click it.
I do like that. I do. I'm
anyway,
here to help. You've got to get that off now. My screen's gone funny.
Jimmy says, would you rather permanently sign Lingard or Dawson? Dawson for 3 million or Lingard for 13 million for
Lingard. I think the system. I think we can find other players that play like Dawson, but I do like Dawson very much.
I think I'd pick Dawson actually. I don't know why. I think I'd pick Dawson because I think 15 million or whatever left to go get an attacking midfielder is a decent bit of money. What are you giggling at? What are you finding your snickering at?
Phasomania. It's just funny. It's funny.
Where is it? Click on it.
I can't click on it. My screen goes funny. It's just funny. It's just funny. It was near
I know what you're laughing at now.
Where's he gone? Right, hold on. He's basically suggesting that I've had such.
It's not that funny.
Well, I know what it was. Well, do you know what? Sketch thought it was funny.
Oh, bloody hell. Cathal said, would you rather sign Tony or Nesri?
Oh, good one. That is a good one. Well, I would have said Tony because I would be worried that En-Nesyri can't learn language, but En-Nesyri is obviously came through Malaga's academy, so he's cool. He could speak to Mikel Antonio. So I'm going to go with En-Nesyri.
I don't know. I don't know who En-Nesyri is, but I like Tony, best striker in the Championship. I don't know if he'd play well under the way we play under David Moyes. That's all.
He's a bit of a poacher, Geo. Have you noticed that? He stays very central. I mean, a bloody talented one. He finds real good space in the box, doesn't he?
I don't know if he's like player for us. I think he's a top. I think he's the best striker in the Championship. I think he'll have a very good Premier League career. I think he will move to a Premier League club in the summer. I just don't know if we would see the best of him at West Ham United with the way we play. Christopher says that do you think you'll see Coventry play at any point this year?
Oh, I hope so. I don't think we will. Sorry to answer your question. I don't think we will, but I really hope so. I really like what I've seen of him. And looking at Christopher's picture, he don't seem so sure.
I don't think we'll see him at all. Lee says, should we get Mason Mount? Not a chance. Not a chance.
No. Sorry, I was being rude. Anyway.
Alan says...
Has he shortened his number?
Yeah, I think he has. We must have got fed up of us taking the piss out of him.
Sneaky Alan.
I don't know why his YouTube name is the same as his Twitter handle.
Why does it just be Alan?
I don't know why it's not just Alan.
Or if there's another Alan, go the Alan.
Do you think that's his date of birth? Do you think his date of birth is the 2nd of March 1980? Do you think he looks that old?
I would have said 1968, to be fair.
Do you think he looks like he was born in 1980? We've seen him. We know what he looks like.
That's what I say about 1968.
That would make him 41 this year. So
lucky boy.
It's his birthday soon, then.
He's younger.
It's his birthday in like 2 weeks.
He's younger than that.
It's his birthday in 2 weeks if it is. Anyway, I've missed one. I found one I was going to click on, but I've missed it. Robert's putting the same question on. Robert, we answered it. You need to rewind.
We did answer that. We don't know what you're talking about.
It's according to Alan, it's the area code for where he lives. Who puts their username as their area code? What do you mean?
Area code? That's Beverly Hills, isn't it? That's Beverly Hills, isn't it?
I don't know. Crikey. What's he on about? Anyway, Luke says that, what about Ruben Loftus-Cheek?
What about him, Luke? What about him? That's what I often say. What about Ruben Loftus-Cheek? I often phone up Geo and he says hello. I say, what about Ruben Loftus-Cheek?
That's why I'm getting sick of him.
Can't stand it. He's got a very, very cheeky name, hasn't he? A triple-barreled name. Actually, no, it's double-barreled. Ruben's his first name. Loftus. It's a funny one, isn't it? Loftus-Cheek.
I think it depends on the price, doesn't it? I think he's not quite fulfilling the potential we thought he once had. But yeah, when last week against Fulham played us, I thought he was really good. I thought he was decent against Everton when they won, but I don't think he's quite there yet. I'm going to say no to Loftus-Cheek because I don't think it would reflect good value. I know you want to click on something. I've seen your hand move.
No, it's fine. It's fine. It's just Nathan got my joke. He's the only one that got my joke. But thank you, Nathan.
Oh, never, Jesus. Anyway, Ben says, did you have pancakes yesterday?
No, I had birthday cake yesterday and lots of it. So we didn't actually do pancakes in the end. Did you, Ben? Ben, did you? Ben?
Might have done.
Doesn't answer. Very rude. Very, very rude, Ben, I've got to say.
Do you think he had pancakes, Ben? I think Ben's a pancake.
Ben is asking because he wants to show off. What Ben is going to do is Ben is basically, people ask you a question, but they don't want to really hear your answer. And then he's going to say, did you have pancakes? Anyway, let me tell you about my pancakes. So I had the maple syrup, I had the sugar, I had the thing. Did you have pancakes, Gio?
No, I didn't. I didn't have pancakes, but I bet you Ben had pancakes. You're right. He's here to brag. Ian says, does Masuaku ever start again? No, if you ask Gonzo, I know he's going to retire now. Same with Felipe Anderson. They're both going to retire.
No, that's not true. First of all, I think that is a good title for a song, if we wanted to make one up. I think Masuaku does start again, actually. Yes, I do. I think Moyes wants to play him. I think he will feature. I think he's an important part of the squad.
Ben never had pancakes. He said they were rubbish, which makes me question why he was asking that question.
Hey, somebody said first of all, he says they're bloody. They're bloody. It's in Ben. He doesn't say no bloody rubbish. He's Northern Ben. Northern Ben, we like to call him.
Migsy, how much is our first 11 worth?
A significant amount of pancakes, Migsy, I believe.
250 million. I don't know. I'm just picking something out of thin air. James, Tammy Abraham, would you sign him? Unrealistic again.
Yeah, well, yeah, if he was on offer, yeah.
Yeah, 50 million. I don't know what he'd be worth, 40, 50 million or something. I saw a stat about him the other day. I can't remember what it was. I think it's when you remove penalty goals, he scored a ridiculous amount. It's better than 1 and 2, and he's not scored a pen yet. So he's got a really good goal score record. Mr. Guy, when did you two meet?
We were at a pancake making conference, which was right next to the Women's Institute Jam Making Guild. Our eyes met over pancakes and jam, and
Was there.
And I'll never forget the first words that Gio said to me. He said, "What about Ruben Loftus-Cheek?" And it just all went from there.
I was actually, what about Danny Ings? But we actually met in 2015 because it said when. 2015.
Oh, is it when? There you go. I should read, really.
Rudy said, did you actually answer my question or just add 7 years to my age? D-Up not rated or the future?
Sorry, who said that? I can't hear.
I think the moment's passed now, to be honest with you.
Yeah. I refuse to answer Alan's question.
Dave says, what do you think will happen to Noble? New deal or retire? I'm getting worried. Gonzo. 2 or 3 interviews now Martin Noble's done. He keeps saying, I've not got much time left. He keeps saying that. And, we played at Old Trafford, and he says, this could be the last time I've ever played here. I mean, then they pointed out that we've still got to go there in the league, and he sort of said, well, I'm not in the team anyway, is it? But I'm worried that this is Martin Noble's last season.
What do I think of it? Maybe a halfway house, David. Maybe somewhere in between your two options there. Yeah, I think that's more likely. I think somewhere in the middle is more than likely to happen.
Then? What's in the middle?
Him retaining a sort of role as a player coach or something like that.
Okay, so new deal.
No.
That would be a new deal.
What about Ruben Loftus-Cheek?
I don't know. I wonder, maybe he's going to get pancakes. Maybe he's going to get paid in pancakes or something.
Where's Joan? Have we seen Joan in the chat? You're right, Joan. Where are you? Where's Joan? Give us a wave.
What are you talking about now?
Joan. I haven't seen Joan in the chat. I don't know where Joan is.
I don't know where Joan is. Isaac says, what defensive midfielder would you want in the summer, accounting for them not wanting to be stuck to the bench behind Rice and wages we would pay?
I'd probably, Isaac, I'd probably try and get, I know he plays a little bit advanced, but I'd drop him back a little bit. I'd probably go for Ruben Loftus-Cheek.
I don't even know who to suggest, to be honest with you.
Jesse Lingard, Ross Barkley.
I don't think we play with a defensive midfielder anymore. Rice's role is not what I would consider a defensive midfielder. It's a bit more box to box now.
It is.
And I'd bring in someone to challenge Rice and Soucek's starting position, because we're now seeing both players look like they could do the rest. So I would almost like someone that can actually play a third of the games. Go click on it, whatever it is.
Sad laugh. He's actually a player. Because we could just say, well, James, what's Haroon talking about?
I get a bit scared. I don't want to read them out in case there's one of those trick names. I'm trying to work out.
I know.
Right. Oh, thank you, Hammer 1999. Ideal long-term replacement for Ogbonna. He's chucked £2 into a full-time fund. Thank you,
absolutely.
Hammer.
Well, there's only one man for Ogbonna's.
I don't think Loftus-Cheek can play centre back. I think we're going to have to come up with an actual answer for this one. Maybe it's Alves. It's got to be Alves, right? Or why have we signed him?
Can we steal Joe Rodden off Tottenham? Have they used him much?
No, but I think Ampadu impressed me against us for Sheffield United. He's impressed me quite a lot this season. I think Ampadu would be on my short list. I just basically want all the...
Yeah, he was all right, wasn't he, for a loser?
He travelled... what's his face? The analytics guy, Jordan Miles.
Jordan Miles, yeah, put pictures on me.
What Jordan Miles would be happy with is that Ampadu, from the non-Sky Sports top 6 this weekend, carried the ball furthest on the pitch. He was number 1.
And he's from Wales, which, as everybody knows, that is the place where you're sent to be rewarded.
Yes, exactly. So Ampadu would be an excellent replacement for Ogbonna long term. Ryan says, problem with trying to sign any youngest player. That's not the one I meant to click on. Sorry, Ryan.
Hey, not Kovo. It's like because he's asked her.
Hang on. Michael says, Dapo was on Twitter earlier praising the left back he played with at Bolton. Is there any chance he will do a Soucek and be our next undercover scout for a fullback? Possibly, but we better start sending him other places and flipping Bolton.
Absolutely. He's the best scout in Bolton. Absolutely. Or Farnworth, which is very near to Bolton.
Miggsy's chucked a 5 in full-time fund. Thank you, Miggsy. I want a player-by-player breakdown of that figure.
See, Miggsy, it was Miggsy earlier that asked the... Basically, you said 250 million. You've got to explain yourself now. Fortunately, I didn't. I just said pancakes.
I think Rice is 100 million. Like Soucek's 50, Ogbonna's 50, and Soufal's 50. The rest are free.
I could break them down in pancakes.
I'll bring up Jordan and discuss with him. Statistically, each player worth.
Mm.
I would like a word with Jordan, actually. Jamie, what are your thoughts on the potential takeover in the summer with this Canadian billionaire? Oh, Jamie, mate, what do you say?
Well, hold on a second. From what I understand, they're trying to get the money together to get the money. Look, I'll tell you now. If your consortium are struggling to get the money together to buy the club, they're unlikely to buy the club and then have the money to run it and fund it. That's So I'd imagine they can't afford to buy it. They can't afford to run it.
Is that the Bordeaux owner? Is that the old Bordeaux owner?
No, I think this is a Craig Forrest led consortium.
God knows. I don't pay attention to any of it now. I just see the rumour talking. But
what I just said can apply to the one that tried to buy Southampton as well. If you're struggling for 50 million, probably can't afford to run a Premier League club.
The Snowman. Do I like haggis? I love haggis. Have you ever tried haggis?
No.
Why not?
I don't know. It's I go down Domino's. Actually, do you know what? I won't have the Hawaiian. Can I have the haggis pizza, please? We don't have that kind of thing down here.
Do you know who does like haggis? Ruben Loftus-Cheek.
Of course he does. I don't know. I didn't know. I should have guessed that.
Thanks to Ben for the fire in the full-time fund. Ben said it was Pancake Day yesterday. Don't you have that? Ben, I know it's Pancake Day.
Ben, they have haggis.
Ben, I know it's Pancake Day. We all use Pancake Day.
They don't celebrate Pancake Day in Scotland. Oh. Very anti Pancake Day in Scotland. In fact, apparently they'd be having a vote to abscond, so as they don't have to celebrate Pancake Day. Anti Pancake Day.
I don't like pancakes. I prefer bigger boobs. Never mind. Never mind. Have I ever tried haggis lasagna? No, I haven't. I've not tried that. I don't think I'd want to. Maybe I would actually. No, just have it with mince, thank you.
Haggis is just meat anyway, isn't it? In a stomach, basically. Yeah, so it probably is. It probably. You could take the innards from a haggis, put it in a lasagna. By the time it's got the cheese sauce and the tomato on it, probably would taste a lot different.
Daniel's asking, how much is the club worth in Hugels?
$29 Hugels. Original value Hugels. 29 original value Hugels and a pancake.
Skullhammer says, where is Moyes' new deal and Fabianski's new deal?
Firstly,
why is he not concerned about Balbuena's new deal?
Absolutely. Prejudice. Is that Skullhammer? Do you reckon he's Scottish as well?
No, I think he's probably called Scott.
We should know exactly where he is because he's got one of them location things in his avatar. That's like what you get on the maps on Google.
There's a periscope thing.
What?
There's a periscope icon. That means he's watching it on Twitter. He's watching this on Twitter.
Hello? I have to shout a bit louder to keep going further. Hello? I think Moyes is getting his new deal in the summer. I don't know about Fabianski.
I think Fabianski will get one. Fabianski said that it's close, but yeah, he's still waiting for it. I reckon they're basically saying, Fabianski, who's your agent? Who would you like to be your agent?
Louis Salthouse.
Still,
I mean, look, who doesn't yearn for a good Vanken? Let's be perfectly honest. I'm still hopeful of particularly Vanken by the hands, of course.
Skullhammers from Essex.
Excellent.
Scott Brown, thanks for the $4.99. He says, love the channel. Keep up the quality content. Thanks. I'll do my best and Gonzo makes some as well.
Absolutely. Yeah,
Hey, I've got some good content tomorrow.
Yes. Yeah,
I waited an hour to plug this.
You missed the perfect segue earlier, may I say, by the way, when we were talking about Moose. I thought you were going to go with the whole Moose. I would have done it. You're too subtle. You've got to be shameless.
Because I'm putting pressure on myself to say I've got an interview. It puts pressure on yourself.
Are you going to tell him? You're going to tell him, or are you too shy? Do you want me to big it up for you?
I'm not going to big it up. I'm just going to say I've done a video for tomorrow, and I'm not going to big it up. I did an interview with Lee Clayton, head of TalkSport, about West Ham. Would you like one or two of the questions I asked him?
Okay, I'll you ask me. I'll pretend I'm Lee Clayton from TalkSport.
I said to him, have you ever been asked what to say by anyone at West Ham?
How do you think I should answer that?
I think you should deny it or deflect it. One of the two. I
have never been told to say anything by anybody at West Ham. Although once I was waiting in the kiosk queue and they said, please shout your ticket order when your pie's ready. And they shouted out and I said, hey, number 72. Apart from that, no, nothing.
Is Jim White compromised due to his relationship with the board?
Jim, those are scurrilous rumours. Jim White was never, ever caught in any uncomfortable naked positions playing Twister with the board, Geo. I'm surprised you asked me that.
Anyway, that's two of the questions that I decided to ask Lee Clayton anyway. It's out tomorrow, 12 o'clock. It's out tomorrow. Ollie says, do I get a lot of stick for supporting West Ham? When I was a kid, when people didn't understand what football was, it was like, we've won the title, where are you? And I'm like, championship football, mate. It's where it's at these days. But as I grew up and got older and spoke to people that actually understand football, it's the polar opposite. Actually, you get a lot of respect for supporting West Ham compared to a Manchester United or something like that. Of course, you get the question like,
Can I just say, and that's your interview, can I just say, Lee Clayton is a West Ham fan, and we've met Lee Clayton, and he's a nice guy, by the way.
Oh, he tells us at the start, don't worry. I give him a...
Well, I've told him. He doesn't need to now. You don't need to. I've told you.
Well, you're just picking up now, aren't you? Lee says, what's your favourite TV show as a kid?
Oh, that's a good one. I quite liked... I used to love the A-Team. I think I still got a bit of a thing about Mr. T. Pity the fool. Mr. T was sort of my hero, really. I used to like Chips. I used to like Charlie's Angels. I used to like the Dukes of Hazzard, Monkey Magic, Dogtanian and the Three Muskehounds, He-Man, Masters of the Universe. Oh, there's so many. I could talk about this for a long, long time.
Hey Arnold, that was my favourite thing.
What?
I loved Hey Arnold. Move it, football head. Oh, I loved it. I used to love Hey Arnold. Yeah, that's the Keenan and Kel. I didn't mind about Keenan and Kel. It depends when you go through.
Is this Scottish television?
No. Hey Arnold's American. Well, so is Keenan and Kel.
I ain't getting no plane.
No, there's not any. I didn't watch any Scottish stuff when I was younger, I don't think. Only Scottish thing I can think of is Balamory. What's the story, Balamory? Wouldn't you like to know?
It is obviously a place, isn't it? I often wonder, when they film in stops, they paint the houses back to normal colours?
I don't know. They have a pink castle anyway.
Ian Keane, can I just pop this up? Ian Keane has donated $6.99 Californian sex credits. I don't know what that currency is.
It's Canadian, is it not? Canadian dollars?
I think Californian sex credits, I think you'll find.
Okay, we'll go
I think he's suggesting that is actually for air freshener. I've got to tell you, it's cool. I've got a plug-in air freshener. I don't know what it smells like. It's not lavender. I think it might be jasmine or something like that. Or as we say in the shed, Yasmin.
What did you say my closet for? I'm not in a closet. I'm in my sitting room. I'm just in the corner. Look a bit weird.
What's your sitting room smell like?
Normal.
Normal. It smells of haggis and Ruben Loftus cheek. Goodness sake, Ian, what else is it going to smell like?
Yeah. Do you think we could get Ravel on the channel? No. I would like to, but no, I wouldn't. Anyway, is there anything else you'd like to add, Gonzo? We'll start wrapping this up. Been blathering for over an hour now.
Rent a Ghost. Anybody used to watch Rent a Ghost?
No.
Oh, fair enough. I used to quite like Rent a Ghost. That's it. I think it is a story. Starsky Hutch, Grange Hill. My sister was in Grange Hill. How about that? There you go. Yeah, Grange Hill was a proper program. Anyway, that's it. I think we're done. I'm going to go and take those Californian sex credits. Go online, see what I can get on whatever Ann Summers. I don't know if they accept that on Ann Summers.
It's David Gold's business. They'll accept anything.
I don't think I can buy David Gold for $6.99 California.
No, but I think they'll have your shirt off your back. I don't think they mind what currency you spend.
They can't have this. I've already had this shirt off their back. I had to pay for it.
I don't know. Did you get it from M&M or not?
I didn't, but I really got it cheap.
Yeah, you did. I remember. Anyway, we'll leave it there. If you've enjoyed this episode of Cup of Tea with myself and himself, then please drop a like on the video. Subscribe if you're new to the channel, and we'll be back on Friday.
When's West Ham playing again?
Sunday, so it'll be Friday.
It'll be Friday.
Friday. Tottenham preview on Friday. See you then. Ta-ra!